Wolves don't howl at the moon. They never did. And you've believed that lie your entire life. Through every horror movie, every nature documentary, every Halloween decoration you've ever hung up. So here's the real question. Does the moon actually trigger the howl? Are wolves even nocturnal? Why does it look like they're aiming upward? What are they actually saying? And why does this myth feel so ancient and so completely true? The real reason has nothing to do with the moon. But once you know it, the howl becomes even more powerful. Let's start with what a howl actually is. Strip away the moonlight and the drama. A howl is a long-range signal in the wolf version of a phone call, a group text, and a GPS ping all in one. Think about being lost in a huge crowd. You don't whisper. You shout as loud as you can, and you wait for someone to shout back. Wolves live in territories that can stretch across hundreds of square miles. That's bigger than some cities. Dense forests, mountain ridges, open plains. In terrain like that, staying connected is a survival problem. Howling is the most efficient answer evolution ever came up with. So howling isn't dramatic, it's practical, it's infrastructure. But then, why does it always seem to happen at night? And why does the wolf always tilt its head up? Here's where the myth falls apart. The story goes like this. Full moon rises. Wolf sees it. Something magical happens. Wolf howls. It feels true because every movie confirms it. But wolves are actually crepuscular, most active at dawn and dusk, not deep midnight. Humans, though, are mostly awake during the day and asleep at night. So we hear wolves after dark and assume the darkness, the moon caused it. That's like hearing music from a neighbor's party every Friday and deciding Fridays cause music. Full moon nights are brighter. Brighter nights mean better hunting. Better hunting means more activity. More activity means more howling. That's not the moon triggering anything. That's just cause and effect going in the wrong direction. Researchers who have tracked howling patterns found no meaningful link between moon phases and how often wolves howl. The moon gets the credit. The wolf does the work. So what actually triggers a howl? This is where it gets genuinely interesting. Wolves howl when a pack gets separated. They howl to claim territory. They howl to coordinate a hunt. To call pups back to the den, to check in after a fight. The pack scatters across a forest. No GPS, no signal, just miles of trees. But one wolf howls, and that sound travels up to 10 miles. That's roughly the length of Manhattan moving through a dense forest. The others hear it and respond. The pack reassembles, sometimes within minutes. Now about that head tilt, it's not romantic, it's physics. When you tilt your head up and extend your neck, you aim your sound forward and outward instead of into the ground. It's the same reason you cup your hands around your mouth when you shout across a field. The upward tilt is acoustic engineering. The wolf isn't gazing at the moon. It's pointing its voice like a speaker. This is the part everyone misses. Each wolf has a completely unique howl. Researchers can tell individual wolves apart just by listening, the same way you can recognize a friend's voice on the phone before they say their name. Wolves change the pitch, the length, and the depth of their howl depending on what they're saying. A distress call sounds completely different from a territory warning. A greeting howl sounds different from a hunt signal. Pups learn to howl by listening to older pack members, which means howling is partly taught, passed down through generations. One theory suggests different wolf populations may even develop regional differences in how they howl, almost like accents. But here's the one that really sticks. Wolf researchers have recorded packs howling in coordinated layers, each wolf using a slightly different tone, so the sounds stack on top of each other and make the group seem much larger than it actually is. They're not just talking, they're performing, putting on a show for any rival pack listening nearby. Now here's where people always get confused. What about coyotes? Most people can't tell the difference. But the two sounds are built for completely different jobs. A wolf howl is long, low, and steady. One smooth note held out like a foghorn designed to reach as far as possible. A coyote call is shorter, higher pitched, and broken into quick yips and barks, like someone rapidly tapping a drum compared to one slow, deep gong. Coyotes are actually louder for their body size, but wolves are built for distance. A coyote weighs around 20 to 50 pounds. A wolf can hit 130 pounds. That's the difference between a medium dog and a full-grown German Shepherd crossed with a Labrador. Urban coyotes, according to some ecology researchers, have even started shifting their calls to higher pitches to cut through city noise, adapting in real time to the sounds of traffic and construction. So if you've ever heard a howl near a city at night, it was almost certainly a coyote. Wolves don't do suburbs, but they used to. And the story of why they stopped is genuinely dark. Rewind to the 1800s. Wolves lived across nearly all of North America, from the forests of the East Coast to the open plains of the Midwest to the mountains of the West. Their howls were a nightly part of life for thousands of years. Many indigenous cultures across North America treated the wolf as a deeply respected animal. Some traditions saw the howl as a message between the living world and something beyond it, a connection, not a threat. But European settlers arrived, and wolves competed with livestock. That competition led to one of the most widespread killing campaigns in American wildlife history. Bounties were paid for wolf pelts. Poison was spread across open land. By the early 1900s, wolves had been wiped out across most of the contiguous United States. But removing wolves didn't just remove a predator, it broke a system. Without wolves hunting deer, deer populations exploded. They ate down the plants along riverbanks. The roots holding the soil disappeared. Riverbanks collapsed and rivers changed shape. The absence of one animal and one sound unraveled the landscape. Then in 1995, wolves were brought back to Yellowstone National Park. Within a few years, deer began to avoid open riverbanks where wolves could hunt them. The plants grew back. The roots stabilized the soil. The rivers, and this is the part that sounds impossible, literally shifted back toward their original paths. Wolves were gone from Yellowstone for 70 years, and when they returned, they changed the course of rivers because of a howl. But here's where it gets crazy. Wolves and their howl are already everywhere in your life, and you've been walking right past them. Every werewolf movie uses the howl as the transformation signal, the moment the human becomes something wilder. The Legend of Zelda, Okami, Minecraft, wolves in games are coded to howl because it signals danger, loyalty, and power all at once. Duran Duran literally sold you wolf mythology wrapped in an 80s pop song. The Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Michigan Wolverines. Wolf imagery is all over professional sports because it signals the exact qualities teams want: pack loyalty, relentless drive, coordinated attack, cologne ads, fragrance ads. Every wild and free product shot in a forest has a wolf in it somewhere. Nature documentaries use the howl as shorthand for "this place is truly wild." Pay attention. The name Wolfgang, one of the most famous composer names in history, literally means wolf's path in German. Over 100 English surnames trace back to the word wolf. World War II submarine commanders used wolf pack as a tactical term for coordinated group attacks. And your dog, your actual pet sitting on your couch, still has the howl coded in. That husky who talks back to you, that beagle who goes off at a fire truck siren. That's 15,000 years of wolf biology sitting in your living room. Cry wolf is so old, it became a permanent warning in human language. Dances with Wolves, The Gray, White Fang. Every time a filmmaker wants to show true wilderness, a wolf appears. The lone wolf idea shows up in psychology, in crime reporting, in business culture. You didn't notice wolves everywhere because they blended in perfectly, which honestly is exactly what wolves do. Now, the honest part. Wolves are not perfect or mystical. They howl more on cold, clear nights, not because the moon pulls them, but because cold air and quiet skies carry sound better, the same way voices carry further across a frozen lake than across a noisy street. Howling also has a real cost. It tells rival packs exactly where you are. It's a signal enemies can follow. Not all howling is about connection. Stress, injury, and loneliness trigger it too. And in areas close to roads and human activity, many wolf populations have actually gone quieter over time. They've learned that sound attracts danger. The wolves most likely to survive near humans aren't the dramatic ones. They're the silent ones who figured out that sometimes the smartest move is to say nothing at all. Wolves howl because they need each other, and sound is the best tool they have. The moon just happened to be watching.